Good morning, afternoon, or evening again. Happy Red Friday. Special thanks to all of our deployed military members who cannot be home with their families like most of us can be. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts and support you 2000%. For the rest of us, TGIF, happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a great week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend coming up. This particular Office of Inspector General fraud report comes out of the lovely, is it the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? We do seem to have our share of Massachusetts, I will say. This one's out of Gardner, and I'll just read you the title. Gardner woman pleads guilty to Social Security fraud. Ooh, that's really telling, right? Because she pled guilty, if her name comes up in here, I'm going to feel free to read it to you because she is no longer presumed innocent because she's been found guilty. Michelle DeSalvo, age 53. Pled guilty to one count of receipt of stolen government money or property and one count of Social Security fraud, as well as one count of false statements. Let's see. She was just charged in February. She pled pretty quick. So in 2001, so what is that? 25 years ago, man, she was in her 20s. DeSalvo began receiving SSI disability benefits. As you guys know, SSI is Supplemental Security Income. It is not Social Security at all. It was not paid for through the working taxes of the individual that's getting it. It's SSI. It's a welfare program. It is run by the SSA, and the disability determinations are made in the same manner as they are for Social Security disability. People mix them up a lot because the acronyms are very similar. So there's SSI, that's the welfare, and SSD or SSDI is the Social Security one. If it's got a D in it, it's the Social Security one. Okay, which is the one you paid uh, for your own insurance, that is. So eligibility, they go on to say eligibility for SSI is based in part on the applicant having limited income and resources. We all know this, right? In assessing a married individual's eligibility for SSI, the income and resources of the applicant's spouse is considered if they live together. If an applicant is awarded SSI, they have a continuing obligation to notify the SSA of any changes in their marital status, living arrangements, and household income and resources. Continuing obligation is probably the strong point here, guys. Don't forget that if you're on SSI. So back in 2014, so now we're talking what, 12 years ago? She truthfully reported to the SSA that she was married. So this is after, 13 years of being on SSI, the welfare program. But she falsely stated that she and her husband had separated in September of 13, when in fact they were living together. And 5 additional redetermination interviews with the SSA between December of 14 and August of 23, so all those years subsequent, Michelle DeSalvo continued to conceal that she lived with her husband with the intent to fraudulently obtain the SSI benefits. In other words, to keep them coming, keep that little faucet of welfare monies taken out of the, what would be for actually people in need, right? She also submitted a fraudulent lease agreement to the SSA, in October 2023, where she omitted her husband because she knew that if she reported living with him, her husband's income and resources would have made her ineligible for SSI. Wow. So that's interesting. I mean, there's no rule that says both you and your husband have to be on any lease. Obviously, she was going to keep him off because it showed that they lived together, and then the SSA would need to know his income and everything. So I don't know if the lease is fraudulent because it's legal to have it in one person's name, but I guess she probably admitted that she purposely did that to help the ruse continue, I'm guessing. From October of 13 through October of 23, DeSalvo fraudulently received $93,000 in SSI disability benefits. So here's where the sentences could possibly be for her. The charge of receipt of stolen government money or property provides for a sentence of up to 10 years in prison, felony. 3 years of supervised release and a fine of $250,000, or twice the gross gain or loss, whichever is greater. The charge of Social Security fraud provides for a sentence for up to 5 years in prison. Why would that be less, I wonder? Why would you get less time? It's okay. It's not as bad to steal Social Security. I mean, that is stealing government stuff. I don't know. 3 years of supervised release and a fine of $250,000, or again, twice the gross gain or loss, whichever is greater. The charge of false statements provides for a sentence for up to 5 years again in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000, or twice the gross gain or loss, whichever is greater. Of course, they go on to say sentences are imposed by a federal district court judge based upon the U.S. sentencing guidelines and statutes which govern the determination of a sentence in a criminal case. Yes, those guidelines. Ugh. I mean, they're a necessary evil, I suppose, but it's amazing when someone really undercuts a guideline to give someone a shoe slap on the wrist. We see that way too often. All right. Happy Friday, guys. Stay safe. I hope to see you at Wednesday's live stream, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your questions, post them in the chat. I will get to them. If you don't want to ask a question, you just rather listen or just say hi, put a hi in there so I know you're there. It makes my day. And we do have a lot of fun, actually, Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you could be so kind as to check out our 12 p.m. videos that come out daily. They're all about Social Security, things that come up in the day, sometimes advisements that are given by me to somebody. Sometimes it's a reiteration of a new SSA rule, case law, strategy we use with our cases, all that kind of good stuff. And the channel itself is kind of dedicated to a mission. You could see it in the channel there, but it's largely dedicated to the would-be clients of a Social Security disability representative or attorney who can't seem to secure generally because they have what we call a 1%, I'd say 1%, 5% chance of prevailing as is because of technicalities, but the understanding that we have is that the realities are that they are definitely disabled and could be found disabled under the law with a little bit of luck and a lot of work, far more than is necessary for a typical claimant. Higher risk of not winning, but their chances of winning go up. I would like to say almost 100% from next to nothing to a win. Not that everybody wins, but the percentages is leaps and bounds above if they didn't have help. And it was just kind of a focus that I wanted to do because of the horrible feeling you have when you can't take another case pro bono. You already take a ton because otherwise you will not be able to stay afloat, pay for help, all that kind of stuff. So this channel does help, and it has helped us take a number of individuals in categories that are consistently waitlisted because very few of my colleagues will take these kind of cases as well. So we always have, but now we have this channel to help us do it a little bit more. And kudos to those representatives that do the same, because I do know some representatives that will take the case that they know they have a good chance of it completely being unpaid work on their half, and even outlays from their own pockets to pay their staff to work on the cases. So anyway, thank you to everyone who does that. I figure if we all do a little bit, we could probably help a lot more people. So thank you so much, guys. Deployed military members, be safe out there. Thinking about you every single day, multiple times a day. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.